the doors. Hello, hello. Welcome everybody to Daily with Doc. My name is Becca Dukes, and I am excited and honored Monday through Friday to be able to host this program and bring to you empowering information that allows you as an individual to take control of your own health. How about that? Do you like empowerment, or do you like to be controlled by somebody else? I personally found that empowerment was much more beneficial for my health, which is why I do what I do, because of the benefits that I was able to experience through the teachings, the knowledge, and the formulations that the good doctor that we have on with us here on Daily with Doc provided to me over 7 years ago. So if you are here live with us, welcome to Daily with Doc. If you are out on YouTube or Rumble, hello Big Jim, hello Spartacus. We just welcome you all. And you're welcome no matter where you're at. You're welcome to join us here on dailywithDocZoom.com. That is how you get to the live presentation that we are hosting. Again, Monday through Friday. That is from 12 to 12:50 p.m. Pacific time. So if you're in Eastern time, just minus or add 3 hours. If you're in Central time, add 2 hours. If you're in Mountain time, add 1 hour. If you are in South Africa, add 9 hours. Okay. So I love the fact that we can reach around the world with our program and give people hope that they do not have to be dependent on an institute that is failing them. And folks, we're not chemical deficient. We are mineral deficient. At least I was. And whenever I realized that and decided to give the doctor 90 days, it didn't take 90 days for me to start feeling like a whole new person. And I invite you to do the same. Now, we do want to make sure that if you are here with us, this program is sponsored by dailywithdoc.com. We are a group of independent distributors who have found, without a doubt, longevity to be the solution to filling those gaps when it comes to nutritional deficiencies. Because when nutritional deficiencies occur, the findings of Dr. Wallach have never failed. When the deficiencies are there, disease is growing. The higher the deficiencies, the more dis-ease, the more conditions, the more symptoms that you have that really are not benefiting you. And we want to make sure that everybody is living to their optimal best. That doesn't mean perfect. Sometimes damage is done where all we can do is live to our optimal best. Now, the content of this program is not to take the place of your primary care physician. Our products do not diagnose, cure, treat any diseases. But when you give the body what it needs, folks, the body can do some amazing, amazing things. And our food supplies around the world, they're empty and void of the nutrition that we actually need. They're helping us to survive. Some cases, not very well. But when you give the body what it needs, it has the opportunity to actually thrive. And that's one thing that the science of epigenetics has proven, that one, there are no genetic birth defects. Yes, things can happen within the womb because of deficiencies that then you have a birth defect. But if there's no deficiencies in mama before she gets pregnant and during pregnancy, babies are going to be healthier. There's no guarantee in life. But folks, when we do our part, there's a lot that we can do that contributes or takes away from our ability to thrive. Again, welcome to Daily with Doc. If somebody invited you, make sure that you get back with them and tell them thank you for sharing this information with you. We are a resource to many, and we want to make sure that we support the community and make this a safe place. So the folks within our community are amazing people, amazing coaches that have a heart for people. So let's just make sure that if you were shared this program by anybody specific, that you get back with them and tell them thank you. Thank you for taking the time and sharing with me.
Recording in progress.
And yes, we are now recording. Thank you, Ruth Ellen. And just thank them for caring enough. Because if it wasn't for somebody sharing this with me, I would have never found it. And I am so thankful for that. So without further ado, I am honored to welcome Dr. Joel Wallach, a lifetime learner. He has a bachelor's degree in science in agriculture. He has a doctor of veterinary medicine. He has 3 postdoctorates in pathology. And he has gone on to become a naturopathic physician that is licensed in multiple states across the United States. He consults with people around the world because, folks, nutrition is needed around the world. So, Dr. Wallach, thank you so much for joining us here today, just like you do every Monday through Friday. What do you have to share with us today?
Oh, well, thank you so much for the very kind introduction and telling the story, which is, I think, useful to everybody. We do want to start off by telling the loss of a good friend. Harry Belafonte passed today, 94 years of age, and very famous during my time back in the 1950s. He was the first one to sell 1 million albums.
96, Doc.
Oh, 96. Okay. He was the first one to sell 1 million albums. Very famous guy. And he died of something that was a simple nutritional deficiency. I wish I'd have known that he had the problem. We'd have contacted him and sent him the stuff. But he died of congestive heart failure, which is a simple nutritional deficiency disease. And the odds are we could have at least added a lot of time to him. If that was the correct diagnosis, we probably could have just reversed it in a week or 10 days. Very simple disease to prevent and reverse congestive heart failure, but that's what Harry died from. So we'll send him our prayers and our blessings. Great guy, great entertainer, did a lot of great stuff for the heart of America. Then today, we want to talk about babies and how to prevent birth defects. We did Rebecca and I did a interview earlier this morning with some people ladies who are midwives and that sort of stuff, where they deal with birthing and so forth. And so it's really, I think we're going to wind up getting a nice tool out of that, because we had a nice interview, I think, and it was being recorded, which is a good thing. But you have to appreciate that, contrary to popular belief, if you want to eliminate any possibility of birth defects in your family, remember, there are no genetic diseases, there are no autoimmune diseases, and all birth defects, I'd say not all, maybe 99% are caused by nutritional deficiencies of the embryo. Maybe 1 or 2% is caused by poisons, like fetal alcohol syndrome and that kind of stuff. Okay, so let's talk about what we can do here. Well, what we need to do, if you're talking about preventing all these birth defects, of every one you can name, okay, many of them are, we already know that we can get rid of them and prevent them and even cure them after the baby's born. Muscular dystrophy, cystic fibrosis, those kinds of things. The sudden death syndrome, when they die from that, we can't bring them back, but they're certainly preventable. Simple nutritional deficiency disease. And it's one of those things where cleft palate, spina bifida, those require surgery after the baby's born, but they're totally preventable. They're nutritional deficiencies. So when is the point at which you have to start preventing these things? Well, if you want to prevent these diseases in your grandkids, your great-grandkids, your great-great-grandkids, you got to start 10 years ago. Okay. Because you have to train people to stay away from all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no butter, rye, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go, and carbonated water got to go because they neutralize stomach acid, so you cannot absorb minerals and digest food. And then you have to supplement with all 90 essential nutrients. So if you plan on having babies, or if you don't plan on having babies, but you know your kids are like what, newborn or not quite yet into preschool or something like that, you better get them on the 90 essential nutrients. Get them on the 90 essential nutrients. Okay, we're talking about kids toddy. We're talking about the 90 essential nutrients, healthy bone and joint pack. We're talking about rebound, that kind of stuff. You need to get them on the I-26 and so forth. Get them on everything you can, okay, as early as you can, and never take them off, because then they'll be in good shape, male or female, when the sperm fertilizes the egg. That embryo is going to get everything it needs to be perfect. And then after the baby's born, the baby needs to be put on these things that the mother was on during, her prenatal and pregnancy time. And the baby's got to, even if he's being breastfed by the mother, he or she needs to still be on the 90 essential nutrients for their life and the life of their offspring, the life of their offspring, the life of their offspring. You can't say, well, I've missed 3 cycles. When do I start taking some prenatal vitamins? Well, it's 3 cycles too late. The odds are there's going to be some problems there. Okay. And so you have to be thinking ahead for generations to prevent all these birth defects. Oh yeah, we took all this stuff, and baby was stillborn with cleft palate. The baby was stillborn with spina bifida. The baby was stillborn with muscular dystrophy, all those kind of things. Well, we spent a lot of money suing the FDA in federal court to put all these nutrients into baby formulas. So as soon as that baby's born and the baby's on baby formulas, they're going to get these nutrients and prevent a lot of that stuff or reverse a lot of that stuff. But wouldn't it be better if the mother to be, okay, when say a year or 2 or 5 or 6 or 10 before she was conceived, that the mother started taking all these vitamins and minerals and staying away from the bad foods. So when the babies come along, they're protected against the injury from the bad foods, and they're protected and supported by all these nutrients that the mother was taking in. And this is the way we have to think. Now, this is why in livestock, we don't worry about birth defects, because the cows and the mother pigs and the chickens and hens, and all of the animals that we raise that way in the zoos are being fed these nutrients, okay, long before they're going to get pregnant. And that way the offspring is 99.9% going to be good. And then you got to keep giving them all the nutrients. And so their offspring will be perfect. Give them all the nutrients, so their offspring will be perfect. And that's the way we have to think. It's kind of like, you don't wait until you've got 5,000 miles in your car to put oil in it. Before you drive that car when you buy a new car or used car, before you drive it off the dealership's property, you check the oil. I don't take their word for it. I check the oil. I check the radiator. I check the brake fluid. I check the transmission fluid. Okay, I check the air in the tires. I want to make sure everything is perfect before I take possession of it. Okay, and that's the way you have to think in terms of your family, yourself, and your kids to be, and your grandkids to be, and your great grandkids to be, and so forth. And then there won't be any more birth defects. That's why we don't have to have health insurance for farm animals. And we have life insurance for expensive racehorses, but we don't have health insurance for cows and pigs and chickens and things like that. Okay, it's much cheaper just to give them all the nutrients and prevent all the diseases. And then we don't have to have the veterinarian or veterinary technician to come out to the farm every week to treat these animals and test these animals for diseases and so forth, because we're preventing them. Okay, and that's why we need to think in terms of ourselves. Now, it's and you say, well, that's going to cost me a couple $100 a month because I got several kids. Okay, well, guess what? How much is it going to cost you if each one of those kids has a baby with a birth defect? Okay, even if it's not a birth defect that you can do something about with surgery or something like that, the emotional misery that you're preventing by preventing those birth defects of the parents, the grandparents, aunts and uncles, because they go and talk to their doctors. The doctors tell them, oh, it's a genetic thing, and they're all screwed up in the head because the doctor tells them it's a genetic thing. And so they're all worried about that. This is not difficult. And so you have to say, okay, do I want to really get crazy here? My whole family be beat down because a baby in our family is born with a birth defect that I could have prevented for a couple of bucks a day? It's cheaper to prevent birth defects than it is to buy Starbucks coffee. It's cheaper. Okay, so it's not like you're spending $1,000 a day to prevent birth defects. Okay, this is actually quite simple, and quite economical. And so I urge you to think in those terms, and you will, and your family will, the community will, and our country will, and the world will be benefited by this line of thinking. Okay, and so see, you were there kind of making sure that everything went right technologically, Rebecca. And so do you think we got the message across?
I think we did, Dr. Wallach. And the thing that I love about it is this group of individuals that were in this meeting that we were in this morning. They were doulas, they were midwives, they were people that want to do things closer to nature, the way things were designed. And that's exactly, Dr. Wallach, what your formulas kind of have a nice little marriage to. They fit perfectly in. And from my experience, okay, I've had 4 pregnancies. All 4 of them were very difficult. I was on bed rest from 5 months on, and then each of them were born either 5, 4, 3, 5 weeks early because my body just wasn't going to have it. And if I would have had your nutrients, Dr. Wallach, I'm 99.9% positive that it would have been different.
Oh yeah, it would have been different.
Something else that would have been different is I wouldn't have children that have dyslexia or learning disabilities. Now I support them to be the absolutely best that they possibly can. But I was looking at something this morning, and in the last 30 years, ADHD has increased. That's ADHD. It's increased over 800%. Autism has increased over 2,000%. Bipolar disease in youth, over 10,000% just in the last 30 years. This is the increase, Dr. Wallach. Are these things nutritional deficiencies?
Yes. And I like our theme in America: bring me your poor and bring me your sick, and so forth. And we can fix all that. We can fix all that. And we can prevent all that. And so it's a matter of, okay, you have gone to doctors forever, and doctors have given out misinformation that they were taught in school. And so it's time to say, okay, I'm going to continue to have my doctor, like my doctor, nothing wrong with that. But I'm going to add 2, okay, because I learned something here that's going to benefit my family, benefit my community, benefit me, benefit my community and the greater community in the world, okay, by doing the things I know that need to be done. Don't just depend on insurance for a doctor to buy some prescription to help you with a kid with autism, okay? We need to give them nutrition. We need to get rid of the bad stuff. And we need to educate that child. Okay, so they know not to get steered off the track by, you know, they're at school and they're going to go have some secret waffles or pancakes or that kind of stuff with their buddies, and you can't figure out why they're not responding properly. That's because they're eating gluten. Okay, because they don't know. Nobody's told them.
Well, and there's something to that, Dr. Wallach. I homeschool my son. When he's not with me, he does not have the controlled diet that he has. And his tutor is like, Becca, he's like night and day difference when it comes to his ability to focus and be with me when we're working on stuff. And then you can see it physically also. So there's really something to this, folks, when it comes to taking that gluten out of the diet and removing that hindrance. It's a barrier to absorption of nutrients. So you may not think that you have nutritional deficiencies. You may not think that you have any issue with wheat, barley, rye, or oats, or buckwheat. I didn't think that I did. But then when I took it out of my diet, all of these things that I was experiencing just started fading away, because I did that once I was on the nutrition and I was getting better absorption of the nutrition that I was investing in for my own health.
And Becca, what do you do for somebody who just loves spaghetti? They can't live without spaghetti. What would you do for them?
There's gluten-free spaghetti, Doc.
Duh.
Yeah. That's funny because somebody over here said Canada. But yeah, so there's gluten-free options everywhere. And then making sure that you keep taking.
And these
you are worse.
These kids need to be taught this, so that if you're not around, either for a day or a week or a month, or, you know, when time comes, you pass on, and they're 40, 50 years old, and they're reverting back and starting to eat gluten again because you're not there to control them anymore. And then they wonder why they're all screwed up and they have heart disease and they have kidney stuff and high blood pressure and diabetes and Alzheimer's disease. Well, my doctor says it's all genetic, and they just buy into that. And so they need to be taught every minute of every hour of every day of every month of every year for the rest of their life. And you reward them when they do the right thing, and they get punished when they do the wrong thing. When they do the wrong thing, you say, okay, no dessert for you tonight because you were bad. You were drinking that cola. Okay, well, there's no gluten in cola. No, but there is carbonation.
Dr. Wallach, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit here.
Oh,
Is when you tell somebody and you punish somebody for doing something, they're going to want to do it more.
ooh.
But I think when you educate somebody as to why you're making these recommendations, why you've adopted these habits, and pointing out, okay, this is what has happened whenever these things, when we were eating these things. And now that we're not eating these things, we don't have to deal with the anger issues, the mood swings, all of those things. So I think educating as to why we do things rather than just say, don't, and you can't have that because you did this. I know with some of my kids, that didn't work. But some kids, that does work. So I think the education part, Dr. Wallach, which is why we do this program, is essential in helping people to understand why you're making the recommendations that you're making. And when you're educated and understand, it's so much easier to accept.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of the term survival of the fittest?
I have heard the term survival of the fittest. Yes.
Okay. Does that include mental fitness,
Mental,
as well as
physical,
fitness?
all the above.
All the above. And so
Yep.
this is one of those things where you really have to pay attention to what's going on around you. You have to pay attention to what you're doing. You have to pay attention to what people who are living with you are doing, because they can cross-contaminate you in the laundry and on the couch and the kitchen table and the, you know, on the dishwasher and everything like that. And so everything has to be kind of watched And you say, why is this happening? I'm not eating any gluten. But then maybe everybody else in your family is, and you're washing your clothes and washing your dryer at the same time they are, sitting on the couch and wondering, they're covered in dust from crackers and cookies and everything made out of wheat.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot to it, Dr. Wallach. And I'm learning more and more each and every day. And we had mentioned some of the conditions that have increased, with childhood, and it's attention hyperactivity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, this is why we have the I-26, the chewables. Okay. We also have synaptive. We also have the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. We have the Kids Toddy. We have the plant minerals. And I need to start collecting all these wonderful events that take place when we have people who can't, they're unconscious or in comas and whatever, and we're just rubbing the minerals on them. We're having all these miraculous turnarounds. I'm gonna put together about 20 or 30 of these into one presentation, and just to show, just putting the minerals on you, absorbing them, it's almost like intravenous. Okay. Yeah. Take the minerals. You didn't like the minerals. I mean, come on. Who doesn't like cherry Mims? Who doesn't like Rebound? You stop it.
Well, I think when they're talking about not liking the minerals, Dr. Wallach, the plain plant-derived minerals, they have a pucker factor to them. It's like, so they're easy to mix with other things and make amazing mineral-rich drinks. Super simple. But it's everybody can come up with an excuse for anything and everything. But folks, when you're focusing on the solution, not the problem with something, it makes it so much easier. Now, I mentioned the increase, Dr. Wallach, in some of the childhood conditions over the last 30 years, but chronic fatigue syndrome for mom and dad, depression, fibromyalgia, hypothyroidism, lupus, osteoarthritis, all of these things. I mean, chronic fatigue syndrome has over 11,000% increase in the last 30 years.
What has this 11,000% increase?
Chronic fatigue syndrome.
Oh my gosh.
So people are they're doing more and more and more, and they're taxing their body and sucking all those nutrients out of their bodies and not feeling them. And it's leading to chronic fatigue syndrome. And then depression. Another thing, lupus. So lupus, Dr. Wallach, is over 700% increase. And I know that you've mentioned many times about buckwheat. So I'm a farm kid. We did not want our horses getting into any buckwheat because of those phagopyrines. In the plant itself, it's a chemical that burns the skin. I mean, you would have a light colored horse and you could really, really see it, the inflammation, the blisters, the breakout all around their mouth, on their nose. That
does the same thing to the intestines.
And that's exactly where I was going, Dr. Wallach. If they're experiencing that as a horse, a very large animal, and then we're taking a product of that same plant, how can there not be any cross-contamination from the aerial to the seed? And then we're putting it in our bodies, and it's wreaking havoc on our intestines, on our digestive system. Yet it's gluten-free. Just say no. You've got to look at the whole picture, Dr. Wallach. I mean, we can look at a small little piece of anything and everything and take only the good and forget the bad. Well, it's that bad that's affecting us. We want to focus on the solutions. So why not look at the big picture and move forward? Right?
You get an A+++.
All right. Well, let's see if we can help some people today, Dr.
Okay,
Wallach.
let's go for it.
Folks, if you're here live with us and you would like to ask Dr. Wallach a question, please feel free to raise your hand. Go to that Zoom menu and look for raise hand under the reactions, because we want to make sure that we are getting the questions that meet people where they're at. If you're out there in YouTube or Rumble Land, you can go ahead and ask your questions there. And we've got people from New Mexico, New Jersey, from Canada, from lots of places up here. I can't scroll through it all. But we want to make sure that we get your questions answered as well. Now, we do have questions that are coming in through people signing up for our newsletter. So folks, go to dailywithdoc.com. And we have a newsletter there that you can sign up for. We also have an option there as you sign up. If you have a question for Dr. Wallach that you would like to get an answer for, I pick a lot of them, or when I can, I pick them so that we can answer them here live on Daily with Doc. We don't get to your question. I do have a team of certified holistic health coaches that are helping me go through the many, I mean, we're talking hundreds of questions that are coming in. So if you've submitted one, rest assured, we will get to you and get an answer for you as well through the email that you supplied. So if the email address that you supplied is not correct, sorry, folks, you're not going to get an answer. Dr. Wallach.
Yes.
So we have a young man in his early 50s, 6 foot, 225 pounds, who is experiencing fatigue, joint issues, burning sensation in his testicles. He's got heart stress. He's looking for weight loss. He has a burning sensation also in his rectum, also athlete's foot, hair loss, and he thinks that's it. But he's got a lot of stuff going on, Dr. Wallach. I know many of them are nutrient deficiencies. What would you recommend for this individual?
Okay, well, first of all, nothing he has is genetic. Nothing he has is autoimmune. So we'll start with that platform. Okay.
So there's hope for him, right?
Oh, absolutely. And
Okay.
so there's two things this guy needs to do. Number one, get rid of all the bad stuff. He's spent his life, and you say he's how old?
He's in his mid-50s. It just says mid-50s.
Mid-50s, okay. So he spent 52 and a half years, okay, or 55 years doing all the bad stuff. Fried foods, processed meats, we're talking about ham and bacon and bologna and salami and hot dogs and pepperoni and all that kind of stuff. And also, he's been using lots of salad dressings and cooking oils, eating lots of gluten, wheat, bran, oats, and there's lots of phagopyrines in the buckwheat, sugar, carbonated drinks, even the diet drinks have carbonation in them, and also carbonated water. A lot of people do that. Oh, I use a carbonated water. I don't drink the, with the sugar and stuff and the caffeine. I just drink the carbonated water. And well, the carbonation neutralizes stomach acid, so you cannot absorb minerals and digest food. You need stomach acid to do that. That's what the good Lord gave us the cells in our stomach to make stomach acid. We require salt, sodium chloride every day, 2-3 times a day to make sure that we're getting our stomach acid made, because our stomach acid is made from sodium chloride. Okay. And then at 200 pounds, and he's how tall?
6 foot.
6 foot, and he's 200 something pounds. I don't know why I'd want to lose weight unless it's all in his belly. Okay. But at any rate, get rid of all the bad stuff. Okay. Then he also needs to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. There's 215 nutrients in each of the healthy brain and heart packs. And take a full dose of everything twice a day. Get 2 bottles a month of the MSM. So you take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time, and they're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone breaks, bone cell, heart valves, bone marrow, and all that kind of stuff, immune system. It also needs the collagen peptides to take to 2 canisters a month. So you take a scoop with his morning drink, scoop with his evening drink. It's a collagen from fish and poultry and sheep and beef. And then also needs synaptive. Take 3 of those twice a day. as 2 vials a month. That's going to help his brain cells and spinal cord cells to talk to each other. He also needs the I-26 to help rebuild his myelin, the white matter of the brain and spinal cord, so that he's not having any kind of short circuiting on signals from his brain, okay, to the other part of the brain, and signals from the brain to the spinal cord, and signals from the spinal cord to the body, and so on. Needs that I-26. I take 2 of those a day. I like the chewables. They taste like vanilla ice cream, and they're about the diameter of a quarter and about half a millimeter thick. Very tasty. Little kids like them. And then he should be eating 3 eggs twice a day. Well, my doctor says I can't have eggs because of all the cholesterol. Well, change doctors, because cholesterol, you require cholesterol. Cholesterol makes up 25% of the normal brain weight. It's called myelin, the white matter of the brain. Cholesterol makes up 25% of your spinal cord weight. It's called myelin. It makes up 25% of your spinal cord weight. Any doctor who says to get off of eggs should have their licenses taken away, and they should be put in jail, okay? Because cholesterol is an essential nutrient. We actually say on the label of our I-26, each dose, we have the powder, we have the tablets, and we have the chewables. Each serving gives you 25% of your daily needed cholesterol. You need cholesterol. It's as important as oxygen and water, okay? And then, let's see here, what else did this guy have? What did I miss here? Oh, his
The fungus, Dr. Wallach.
okay, well, let's talk about the fungus. He can take our colloidal silver topically wherever he has, an open wound between his toes, that kind of stuff. He can use our colloidal silver. He can take 2 droppers full of colloidal silver under his tongue, say 10 minutes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It kills viruses, bacteria, fungus, and yeast. He also needs to take our hair, skin, and nails for the hair and the skin issues. I want him to take 3 of those 3 times a day. That'd be 3 bottles a month, because they're just small little bottles, our hair, skin, and nails. And let's see here. I think that covers what we do want him to have for energy. We want him to take our rebound. The sticks don't have any carbonation in them. There's 30 sticks in a box, okay? We have the canister. There's 36 servings in a canister. It's a powder also. There's 100 nutrients in each serving here. There's 100 nutrients in each serving here. We do have the cans, but the cans do have carbonation in them. So I like to pop the tops and put them in the refrigerator in the afternoon or the evening. So the next day they're flat, all the bubbly is gone. And I'll have one for breakfast, and I'll have half of one for lunch. And I'll have the rest of that second half of the second one over the afternoon. Okay, and get it all done before 4 o'clock, so it won't keep me up all night. And so that's where I would have this guy start. Did I miss anything?
No, but I want to
Did he
point
have
out,
a thyroid? Did he have a thyroid issue? Did this guy have a thyroid
No,
issue? Okay.
I didn't see any thyroid issue, but I wanted to point out, because you had mentioned about the plant-derived minerals, putting them on the skin.
Mhm.
Anything that you put on the skin is going to absorb into the skin, through the skin, into the bloodstream. So even if you take that colloidal silver, put it in a little spray bottle, which makes it easier for dispensing rather than the droppers, and spray it on the areas that you're experiencing the itching, the inflammation, the irritation, the infection, it's going to be beneficial. So I
And
have
no burning.
colloidal
There's no
silver,
alcohol in it. There's no alcohol. There's no
and
burn.
there's no alcohol. Yeah, I have the colloidal silver in the droppers. When I went on my little vacation, I got a little bit of an allergy irritant in my eye, did a couple drops. Within a couple hours, I had no more irritation or anything going on with my eyes, which was fantastic, because that would have ruined my vacation. But you can do it on any area of the body. Spray that on there, whether you've got an open wound or it's just inflamed. It's easy, just like the plant-derived minerals. I've got a bigger spray bottle for the plant-derived minerals.
Yeah. I'd throw one more thing at this guy.
What's that?
Test. It's a male hormone.
Test.
Test.
Okay.
Test. I got the right one for the guy, right? Test.
Yes, he was having some burning sensation in his testicles. So could that be for something that the Zera test would benefit?
Production. Yeah, more hormone production.
Uh-huh.
More male hormone production. And of course, the itching kind of stuff, it can be due to lack of collagen and so forth. And so that's where the That's where the collagen comes from. Okay, that's where you need the MSM, you need the collagen peptides, and so forth, and that'll take care of all that.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Wallach. And we've got some questions here that are coming in the chat. And Sharon has a client. She's a female, 50 years old, 5'4", 172 pounds. She has gum issues on both sides. The left side bottom jaw is swollen, inflammation in the top back shoulder. So it doesn't say, and Sharon, if you can put in the comments, is she experiencing anything else like blood sugar issues, blood pressure issues? That would be helpful also. Ringing in the ears.
Balance problems.
Balance problems.
How many times does she wake up at night to urinate?
There you go. So Sharon, if you can add those things in there, that would be very beneficial, please.
But to get started, let's get her off all the bad stuff. Okay, you can get Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods, 300 pages of safe recipes. Also contains a good food, bad food list, also good cooking, safe cooking methods. Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. And then, let's see here, none of the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, bran, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. And then her weight, 170 pounds, 172 pounds.
172.
Okay, yep. Needs a 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, 2 full doses a day. She needs 2 bottles a month of the MSM, so you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. She also needs 2 canisters a month of the collagen peptides, so you can take a scoop with her morning drink, with the evening drink. I also want her to have the synaptives, so her brain cells can talk to each other. Okay, 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks, not hard boiled, not fried. And let's see here.
So she does have blood pressure issues, Dr. Wallach. No to blood sugar issues. And yes, she wakes up. Oh, no to blood pressure issues. But yes, she does wake up to urinate several times during the night.
Okay, so she got osteoporosis of the skull. Yep. And then she needs the, let's see here. What else do we need to throw in there? Vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day. We said synaptive. Oh, for the blood pressure, she needs the Ultimate Daily Classic. That's 3 words, Ultimate Daily Classic, Ultimate Daily Classic. Take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. And that will, if she's on blood pressure medication, don't cold turkey off the medication. But as the blood pressure begins to come down, she can slowly reduce the medication based on the numbers. Usually, you know, you can expect some miraculous results within 2 to 4 weeks. And I always say, give us 90 days. And usually they're totally off of their blood pressure medication within 90 days. I just had another case in Florida where they're really in a disastrous position and very bad. And hospitalized near death many times. We got them going on a similar program. And in 2 weeks' time, everything's fine. But they said, well, how long do I have to stay on this? Well, how long do you need oxygen? Forever. How long do you need water? Forever. How long do you need the 90 essential nutrients? Forever. How long do you need all these nutrients? Forever. Okay. Otherwise, within a couple of months, you'll be back down to the hole again. You might not get out of the hole the second time. Okay.
Right. Well, here's one for you, Dr. Wallach. And folks, if you're hearing any information on this program that it is triggering some thoughts for you, it's like, okay, I know somebody that has that. I know somebody that has that. They would benefit from what Dr. Wallach is sharing. Make sure that you get back with the person that invited you to this program. If there's nobody to thank, go to dailywithdoc.com, use that contact us, and I will get you in touch with one of our certified holistic health coaches who strictly use Dr. Wallach's protocols. His products were the only solution that I found with all of my issues that I was experiencing. They're the only ones that I recommend. And that's what we train our coaches in the same way. And if we have any questions that we don't know the answers to, we have access to Dr. Wallach right here. And we'll make sure that you get the information that he would provide to you as well. Coach Rod has a male cousin, Dr. Wallach, only 33 years old, 98 pounds, 5'4". He has a non-cancerous brain tumor. It has caused him to lose sight in one eye. The doctors say that they can't operate, but they do want to do radiation. He has no appetite, and they're wanting to know what can be done to help stop the growth of this tumor.
Okay, well, first of all, he needs to get rid of all the bad foods. He needs to, eat like an Asian, rice and beans and squash and sweet potatoes and vegetables, and he can have fish and poultry and beef and stuff like that, right? No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, bran, rye, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Then I want him to have, let's see here. I want him to have 3 eggs twice a day. 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks, soft boiled, soft poached, soft scrambled butter. I had 3 soft poached eggs this morning for breakfast. I mean, I do this all the time. He needs the I-26. I want him to have 3 servings a day. The I-26, we have the pills, the powder, and the chewables. I like the chewables. I take 2 of the chewables at lunch, and he needs to take 2 chewables 3 times a day, or 2 pills 3 times a day, or 3 doses of the powder 3 times a day, the I-26, to rebuild that brain. Let's see here. Also needs the MSM, 2 bottles of MSM, so you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, or dinner time. They're going to help him rebuild the cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone makes bone itself, including the skull and the jaw and so forth. Needs to have, I would go ahead with the collagen peptides. Go ahead and take a scoop of that this morning, drink scoop of the evening drink. That's 2 canisters a month. He needs the synaptive, 2 bottles of that a month, so you can take 3 at breakfast or dinner time, so the brain cells and spinal cord cells can all talk to each other. Let's see here. He needs a rebound or sports drink. He could have, I'd start out with 1 a day because he only weighs 100 pounds or so, kind of like that. So I'd have him take a half a dose, whether it's the powder, the sticks, or the cans. If he's going to drink the cans, remember, he's got to pull the tops on them and put them in the refrigerator. Don't drink them until the next day. But he can take a half a dose of a rebound at breakfast that is carbonated free, and a half a dose, the other half at lunchtime. And what did I miss?
Well, I'm going to recommend Dr. Wallach the Fucoid Z. And see, he doesn't have an appetite. So I'm also going to recommend our total meal replacement shake. It's tasty. It'll give him nutrition. Even though he doesn't want to eat, it'll still give him something that he can drink. You can mix in some of these other things that Dr. Wallach is recommending as well into that to make sure that he's making the most of what he is getting in his body with nutrition. So that's one of the recommendations. And something that's not from the longevity line. I know you thought I was going to say something. I'm going to recommend staying away from any and all diet drinks. The sweeteners that are added to those diet drinks have been proven to be hazardous to people's health, whether cancer tumors or not. I have 3 family members who were very much into drinking diet sodas, and brain tumors were found in each of them. So that might be something that's playing a factor into this. So I think that's it. So Coach Rod, if you have any additional questions, feel free to ask, because we are here for you. And we have just a few more minutes, Dr. Wallach. I have a question coming in on email in regards to fasting. So Dennis wants to know, or he's saying, I'm considering a 3-day water fast. with sodium, potassium, and sodium. So he says there are 3 elements mentioned to help during the process. He says, I use the essential 90 daily. Should I continue to use this since it has no sugars or fats? So water has no nutrition in it. If you're adding 2 elements to it, which sodium, potassium, and then sodium, that's still only 2. Your body needs nutrition. So he can still take his 90 essential nutrients, right? Even if he's doing a water fast.
Absolutely. Now, usually when people are doing a water fast, they want to detox. They want to, it could be a faithful / religious thing. Okay. But no, I want people to take the 90 essential nutrients. Believe me, in the old days, in the days of the Garden of Eden, the land flowing with milk and honey, when they went on a fast, they were drinking that water that looked like milk. It wasn't milk, it was minerals coming from the mountains. That's why it looked white. Okay.
Yeah, that's an amazing story, Dr. Wallach, to think about that not being land flowing with milk and honey, and that milk not being milk, but something that looks like milk.
Yes, because back
mineral rich.
I've read the Bible many times on many airplanes, many foreign countries, in many languages, and nobody ever talks about dairy herd in the Garden of Eden, whether it's cows or goats or whatever. There's no dairy herds. There was no milk, and so where is that milk coming from? Okay, the milk was coming from the minerals up in the mountains, and that's why Methuselah lived to be 969 years of age. Okay,
Yeah.
because he was getting all those minerals, and all his sons, and Noah lived to be, I don't know, 500 and something, because they were getting these minerals from the land flowing with mineral milk and honey.
Yeah.
Okay, kind of add a little bit to that, because
I have one more question I want to get in before you have to go, though.
Okay, go.
Okay. So Leighton has a daughter that's 19 years old. She has low HDL cholesterol. She has slight tremors. Once in a while, she has seizures, brain fog, and times. I'm not quite sure how that fits in. How could we address this? She's 4'11" and 120 pounds at 19 years old,
Okay,
with low cholesterol.
get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no buckwheat, no sugar, no oils, absolutely no carbonated water. Then she does need 100 and something pounds,
120
heart pack per month. So cut it in half a dose breakfast, half a dose dinner time. She needs 1 bottle a month of the MSM. So she can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. So she can maintain cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, all that kind of stuff, skin, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I also want her to have our I-26. I want her to have 3 doses a day. She can have the chewable, she can have the powder, she can have the capsules. She can mix them up and have the chewables at lunch and powders at breakfast and capsules at dinner, however she wants to do it, but 3 doses. Okay, with the I-26 a day. I also want her to have the Synaptive, take 3 of those twice a day. There's 2 bottles a month. I also want her to have, let's see here. I would have her take the Z Radical liquid. Tastes very nice. Tastes kind of like a mild red wine. There's no alcohol in it, but it does have the nutrients from seaweed, 8 or 9 different seaweeds in the ocean. If she prefers capsules, she could take the Fucoid Z capsules, take 2 or 3 of those twice a day. Don't forget the ocean's gold. Okay, and I want her to use also our seasoned salt from Australia or our Himalayan salt from the Himalayan mountains, one or the other. 2 doses of our salt a day.
All right, and the brain and heart pack has 2 different essential fatty acids in it. Yes, you need them both for brain and heart health. That's why they're
and lung. Yep.
And lung.
Because they'll prevent reverse asthma.
Well, they are beneficial for a lot, Dr. Wallach. I have a whole list that someday I'll go through this list of the things that you found to be related to essential fatty acid deficiency. So next time, well, Dr. Wallach, thank you so much for joining us here with us on Daily with Doc. We greatly appreciate you, your knowledge, your research, and your time that you spend with us each and every Monday through Friday. Have a wonderful, blessed day, Dr. Wallach.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Okay, if I could get my co-hosts up with me, that would be fantastic. Folks, you're watching Daily with Doc, whether you're here live with us, whether you're watching a replay, you're out watching one of our live streams, we want to make sure that you are getting the information and support that you need also. If somebody shared this program with you, make sure that you get back with them and thank them and ask them questions. Say, hey, this is what I've got going on. Do you know what Dr. Wallach would recommend for me? And if that coach doesn't know, then make sure that you tell them about Daily with Doc and let's get answers for you. Because if you've got questions, I know without a shadow of doubt that there are other people out there that are going through some of the same things that you're going through that would benefit from your questions as well. We are here to help people find optimal health, to get out of that barely surviving, feeling way too young or being way too young to feel this old type situations. We are here to help people live long, abundant, full of lives. I just want to give a shout out to my coaches that I have on with me as co-hosts, helping to make this happen. We have Farhan, who's going through and letting people in, watching the cameras. We have Marilyn, who's putting lots of information in the chat. So that's one of the benefits of being here live with us, is you can open up that chat and Marilyn is taking the situation and writing in Dr. Wallach's recommendations for people to be able to see. We have Sherry Browning, who is helping keep an eye on all of the cameras and the chat and taking screenshots and sending them to me just so that I don't miss anything that's going on in that chat that needs to be seen. And Ruth Ellen doing all the above and making sure that we're streaming where we're supposed to be streaming and we have sound where we're supposed to have sound. We appreciate you all. We have Sportus that's out in YouTube land, keeping a track of all of the posts that are going on out there. We greatly appreciate all of you taking the time. You are worth the investment of time and the investment that it takes to nutriate your body so that you also can have the possibility of living an optimal life. So get back with a person. Oh, and then we have Kitty. Not quite sure what the name is, but yeah, we've got our fur pets too. They are family. Have a wonderful and blessed day, and we will see you again tomorrow. My name is Becca Dukes, dailywithdoc.com. Make sure that you get signed up with and for our newsletter. And if you have questions, again, you can submit them there. If you have never spoken to anybody about longevity and you would like to speak with a certified holistic health coach, if you've never tried any of the products, we do have a call team that's standing by. 855-949-3377. That's 855-949-3377. Again, that's for people that have never spoken to anybody, no associate, nobody referred you to this program about longevity. So if you're part of our newsletter, if you have heard us on Coast to Coach, which I want to do a shout out for my buddy George Norrie. He has Dr. Wallach that he is hosting tonight on the Coast to Coast network from 10 to 12 p.m. Pacific time. So thank you, George, for all that you do in allowing us to be part of your team. So till next time, bye for now.
Record.